The lost flight of 1955, a mystery that defies time. The skies were crystal clear on the morning of July 2, 1955, as Pan World Airways Flight 914 prepared to embark on what was supposed to be a routine journey from New York City to Miami. The Boeing 377 Stratocruiser, a state-of-the-art marvel of aviation engineering, stood gleaming on the tarmac at LaGuardia Airport. 57 passengers and 4 crew members boarded the aircraft, full of excitement and anticipation for the sunny beaches of Florida. It was the perfect day for flying, and everything seemed to be going according to plan. Yet, what began as a simple 2.5-hour flight would turn into one of the greatest and most baffling mysteries in aviation history. A story that continues to mystify experts, fuel conspiracy theories, and captivate imaginations to this day. A flight like any other. The flight took off at precisely 9:55 a.m., and the passengers settled into their seats, chatting, reading magazines, and gazing out at the serene skies. Captain Michael Taylor, a seasoned pilot with over 20 years of experience, communicated with the air traffic control tower in New York, confirming the plane's trajectory. Everything was routine, until it wasn't. Somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean, the plane disappeared from radar. One moment, it was a blip on the screen, moving steadily along its course. The next, it was gone. No distress signal was sent. There were no signs of mechanical failure, no weather anomalies, and no communications from the crew. It was as if Flight 914 had simply vanished into thin air. The search that led nowhere. When the control tower lost contact, immediate action was taken. A massive search and rescue operation was launched, involving both the U.S. Coast Guard and military aircraft. The flight path was scoured from end to end, with rescue teams combing through the waters of the Atlantic and the dense forests of Florida. Day after day, search parties returned empty-handed. Not a single piece of debris was found, not even a life vest or a piece of luggage. It was as if the plane had never existed. The disappearance made national headlines. Newspapers speculated wildly about what could have happened. Some suggested mechanical failure, while others leaned toward the possibility of a hijacking. A few even whispered about the Bermuda Triangle, a mysterious region in the Atlantic rumored to swallow ships and planes without a trace. The families of the passengers held on to hope, but as weeks turned into months and months into years, that hope dwindled. Eventually, the case was closed and the flight was declared lost at sea, a bizarre return. Fast forward to March 9th, 1995, nearly 40 years after the disappearance of Flight 914. It was an ordinary day at Caracas Airport in Venezuela. Air traffic controllers were monitoring the skies when their radar picked up an unidentified aircraft. At first, the blip seemed unremarkable, likely just a plane straying slightly off course. But as the controllers attempted to make contact, things took an unexpected and chilling turn. When the pilots of the aircraft finally responded, their voices were filled with confusion. "This is Pan World Airways Flight 914, en route from New York to Miami," the captain announced. The controllers were stunned. Pan World Airways had ceased operations decades earlier, and no flight by that name was scheduled anywhere in the world. Even more puzzling, the plane visible from the control tower windows looked like a perfectly preserved 1950s aircraft, down to its polished chrome exterior and vintage logo. Landing in the future. Despite the disbelief in the control tower, the controllers guided the plane to a safe landing. When the aircraft touched down on the runway, it was as though time itself had stood still. As the passengers disembarked, their confusion matched that of the airport staff. They insisted it was still July 2nd, 1955, and they were on their way to Miami. Their clothing, luggage, and even their tickets were relics of the 1950s. The airport staff quickly realized that these weren't just actors in an elaborate prank. The passengers appeared genuinely bewildered by their surroundings. They marveled at the modern airport facilities, the advanced technology, and the unfamiliar fashion of the people around them. The shock of the present. For the passengers, the revelation that 40 years had passed was almost impossible to comprehend. Some wept openly, lamenting the lives they had left behind and the loved ones they would never see again. Others were struck speechless, struggling to process the reality of their situation. Imagine stepping off a plane, expecting a sunny vacation, only to find yourself in a world that had moved on without you. The cars were faster, the buildings taller, and the culture unrecognizable. An aircraft frozen in time. Authorities immediately began investigating the aircraft. Aviation experts were brought in to examine the plane, and what they found defied all logic. The Boeing 377 Stratocruiser was in immaculate condition. There was no rust, no wear and tear, and no signs of aging. Even the fuel tanks were full, as though the plane had just taken off. The flight manifest matched records from 1955, and the passengers' belongings were authentic down to the smallest detail. Even the meals in the galley were fresh, as though prepared just hours earlier. But the most bizarre twist came when the plane vanished. Just as authorities were preparing to transport it for further examination, witnesses reported seeing it dissolve into thin air. One moment, it was there, sitting on the tarmac. The next, it was gone. Theories and speculations. The reappearance of Flight 914 sparked a frenzy of theories, ranging from the scientific to the supernatural. A time slip. One of the most popular theories is that the plane passed through a time anomaly, effectively freezing it in time until it re-emerged in 1995. Some point to the Bermuda Triangle as a possible explanation, citing other unexplained disappearances in the area. Government experiment gone wrong. Conspiracy theorists suggest that the plane was part of a secret government experiment involving time travel or advanced technology. Was Flight 914 an accidental victim of a classified project? Alien abduction. Others speculate that the plane was taken by extraterrestrial beings and later returned. Could the passengers and crew have been part of some intergalactic experiment? Mass hoax or hallucination. Skeptics argue the entire event could have been a hoax, though this theory struggles to explain the physical evidence and the accounts of the passengers. The emotional fallout. For the passengers and their families, the mystery of Flight 914 was deeply personal. Many passengers were reunited with their descendants, rather than their immediate loved ones. Some found their homes demolished and their neighborhoods transformed beyond recognition. The emotional toll was immense. Some passengers struggled to adapt to modern life, while others found solace in their faith or the support of their families. But for all of them, the question remained: what had happened to them during those 40 years? Unanswered questions. Despite extensive investigations, the mystery of Flight 914 remains unsolved. How did the plane vanish without a trace? Where was it during those missing decades? And why did it return, only to disappear again? Even today, the story of Flight 914 serves as a haunting reminder of how little we truly understand about the forces that govern our world. The legacy of Flight 914. The tale of Flight 914 has inspired countless books, documentaries, and debates. It challenges our understanding of time, space, and reality itself, serving as a reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. So the next time you look up at the sky, think of Flight 914. Somewhere, in the vast expanse above us, could another plane be lost in time, waiting to reappear and rewrite history?